Hey everyone, this is Charles of My Tennessee Home Solution. I'm the CEO and co-founder, and this video is going to be about how to sell an inherited house fast in 2025. But before I begin, if you're watching this, it likely means that you've inherited a house due to the loss of a family member, and just our deepest condolences and sympathies go out to you. Our team does not take these situations lightly at all. And so I'm also making this video to try to help be a resource. It's something that we have helped many people with, but we also don't, it's not lost on us of the circumstances of why people reach out to us, of why we even are getting in a conversation. So just wanted to put that out there. Selling a house when you inherit it, right? So many times, the house can become just another thing for someone to worry about. Another house to upkeep, mortgage to pay, utilities, many things, right? And it's just going to add to an already potentially stressful situation. So there's a lot to think about. And that is where we come in, where our team does. And we're a local, veteran-owned, operated real estate solutions company. We specialize in probate and inherited houses all throughout Middle Tennessee. And we can even buy the house without having to go through probate itself. And so, in addition, we're also exclusive home buyers in this area for other national teams that work probate cases. And so in this video, what I'm going to do is expand on what you need to know about inheriting a home, and if it feels like too much to take on, and then just to show you how you can sell it fast when you inherit a property. And so obviously the first question is just, can you sell an inherited property? And the simple answer is yes. You can sell any home or property that you inherit. It's very similar to if you were to, sell a home that you've already purchased yourself or that you live in. Sometimes with inherited properties, there may be judgments or liens against the property that would still have to be paid upon the sale. And usually this is not known until the property is going through the title process, which that doesn't begin until the property is under a written agreement to sell. In those situations, sometimes you may know, but many times you don't. We don't know until the title comes back. And in those cases, what we do is we do everything we can to contact the originator of those judgments and liens, and then negotiate those balances down to really help assist the family and the estate to maximize what they receive. And so when it comes to what you should do with the house itself, right, there's really three major choices. You can keep the house to live in, sell it, rent it out, right? And so just getting into the selling piece, you could go the traditional route, sell to a real estate agent. What that includes is getting the house ready for showings, open houses, negotiations, a lot of paperwork, dealing potentially with concessions, agent commissions, the fees, closing costs, and then an unpredictable timeline for when it'll be completed. Many people do that, but you could also go through a more streamlined, transparent, simplified process with us, My Tennessee Home Solution. Get a fair cash offer, buy the property as it is, and you don't have to worry about any of the fees or commissions. Plus, you could leave anything in the house behind that you didn't want. So another option is to just keep it and live it and reside in it. We deal with that sometimes where a family member is living in there. And so, but if you inherit that property, want to live in it, just keep in mind, owning the home, it just comes with the regular expenses, property tax, maintenance, repairs. And so sometimes that just isn't a good fit for people. And so doesn't happen a lot, but it is an option. Third is leasing, renting out, right? So although leasing out an inherited house will take some preparation, it could generate passive income. And, in certain circumstances, be easier than selling. Main things, though, to keep in mind if you're going to rent it out, right? Getting a tenant, screening that individual, ensuring the house is rent ready, or even working with a property management company, let them handle that for you. But if you decide to work with the property management company, you got to make sure you understand their guidelines, policies around maintenance, evictions, their fees. Most importantly, with all that in terms of renting, is just ensure you're going to run your numbers, meaning your financials, understand that the property is going to actually cash flow and make you some money and not end up being a money pit and costing you money. So again, those are kind of three major options. Usually, obviously, we deal with people that do end up wanting to sell. And so it may be more difficult to sell the property in the future if you inherit it along with your siblings or other family members, but it's still possible. And we deal with that many times. And something that we have done is we've worked with estates that include over 20 heirs before. So there's really no situation that's going to be too complex regarding inheriting a property for our team, and I mean that very sincerely. When there are several heirs, deciding how to move forward is simplest when everyone's obviously in agreement, right? Planning and communication are essential since there's a lot of tasks that have to be completed prior to selling. One owner or one of the individuals inheriting, acting as the sales logistical leader, is highly recommended. It's going to help streamline the process. Otherwise, if everyone wants to be engaged, then standard tasks in the home selling process, such as selecting and engaging with the right buyer, organizing showings, inspections, all of that, is going to require a good bit of coordination and time and effort. So, again, working with a team like us, we can help really just streamline that. We have a very fluid process from start to finish that can help really alleviate a lot of those hassles and avoid it. But usually, a personal representative will be chosen, by the descendant or the legal system. And so in terms of the inherited home, this individual has several responsibilities. So to provide them the chance to submit claims on the assets, pay off the obligations, they get to inform creditors about the passing. Even the lender may decide to action these in particular circumstances or to write them off. But before anybody inherits anything, the personal representative has to pay the debts owed to the creditors, right? So that does potentially mean selling the home and liquidating that if there are not sufficient liquid assets to satisfy creditors. So in many cases, like mentioning earlier in terms of judgments and liens, we will negotiate those down on behalf of the family. So no guarantee to it. We do have a strong record of reducing 100% of the debts if we're just able to even get in contact with this creditor. So I just want to hit that again because I think a lot of people don't realize the significance of that at times. And so I'm very proud of our team being able to do it. And although it may seem difficult, this must be completed when someone passes away. And for this reason, people are typically cautious about choosing the personal representative, and that makes total sense. It's someone who can get things done, it's organized. That's a requirement pretty much because a few things to think about, or the accounts to the bank accounts and things. So accounts for savings, bank accounts, accounts for earnings, retirement accounts, the principal mortgage accounts, statements for credit cards, insurance contracts, household assistance, HOAs potentially, the mortgage loans, refinance mortgages, real estate taxes, utilities, medical expenses. It is quite a list. And so that's why, again, that's kind of why we're going over all this, is to just to highlight it and to make people aware. And so the party responsible, has got to make sure that all of those services that I was just briefly mentioning are paid. And so another facet to all of this is, the personal belongings in the home. Most people don't want to sell an inherited property without taking care of the treasured or personal items inside, of course. So choose how you wanted to distribute them. In some situations, the court or a will can determine this, and then the inheritors must abide by that. But many times, too, people just have certain ways they want to distribute that. And so any remaining items could be sold at an estate sale, and the money can be divided amongst the heirs. Again, this is a service that our team can coordinate on behalf of the family. We don't have to. It's just something that we like to do for people. And so with that, most people do not want to deal with the majority of the belongings inside, such as particularly the furniture, clothes, things like that, kitchen items. So, but you don't have to. If you decide to sell off market to a team such as us, again, you don't have to worry about any of that. We buy the house as is. Everything else that you want to leave behind, you can, and we will handle that. So with that, just to kind of wrap it all up, some of my final thoughts. Inheriting a home from a loved one who's passed it's an emotionally charged and tough experience. Beyond grieving, a lot of work is often required in selling an inherited property and moving forward. But there's a solution to that, and that's working with us, our team. And so we've done it many times. We've helped many homeowners. If you were to look at our BBB or Better Business Bureau, we're A+ credited. We have a perfect 5-star rating on our Google profiles, And then we also have a success stories page where you can see particular family stories about how we've helped people with their estates or inherited properties. And so if you'd like to give us a call, what we'll do is schedule a time to come out with one of our home buying specialists. We look at the property, see what it qualifies for, on the spot, give you a tailored and customized offer. We just ask that you pick the closing date that works best for you. And then we move on from there. We handle everything on our end and then get to the closing table. So thank you and God bless.
We'll buy your home today, no need to delay. My Tennessee Home Solution.